So welcome. You guys have made it to day 5 of the gratitude challenge. So I hope you guys are finding that this is a good way to start the day, and I hope you continue to practice as well once this challenge is over. I know it's actually been good for me as well too to kind of reinvigorate my practice. So I'm really enjoying this. So I wanted to we'll do a quick recap of yesterday. So yesterday we introduced a mudra into our meditation. And a mudra is a hand gesture, or it's an energy lock or sail that helps us to cultivate a particular type of energy or consciousness. And the mudra we used yesterday was the boom mudra. So that was our 2 peace fingers, our index finger and our middle finger. And we just connected them right onto the earth. And this was a mudra to help us connect our physical body to the earth. And we just learned when we feel that connection to the earth, it often brings a sense of ease, comfort, and security because we remember that we're not separate from everything else, but we're actually an integral part of it. So we worked with the boom mudra yesterday to kind of create that sense of grounding and stability and that connection with the earth. And today we're also going to introduce a mudra to our meditation. And the mudra that we're going to use today is dhyana mudra. So you take your left hand, place the right hand right on top of it, and then you can place your thumbs together. Give me a moment. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Kelly. So today, just quickly recap, we're gonna add the mudra to our meditation, and this is dhyana mudra. So you take your left hand, place the right hand in it, and then thumbs touch, and then you can place it right in your lap. So this mudra just helps to cultivate a sense of concentration. So if you ever see images of the Buddha or people meditating, it's likely you'll probably have seen them use this mudra before. So we're going to come into an awareness of breath meditation, but then what we're going to do is we're going to count our exhales to 21. And I remember the first time that I was taught this meditation, I was like, that should be easy, just counting to 21. It's actually not that easy. You might only get to like 3 where you're like, I need to do the laundry, or I need to do this. And as soon as you notice that your mind is caught up in thought, just go back to 1. And there's no judgment. It's just hard to do. Our minds like to think, they like to wander. But we're just going to try to count. And if you do get to 21, great. Just go back to 1 and we'll start again. But let's just get started with our awareness of breath. So we'll take a moment holding the mudra just to focus. And I always think in meditation it is important to have the proper posture. So sitting up tall, shoulders stacked over hips. When our chin is slightly tucked, that keeps the neck in line with the spine. You can also maybe make a little space between your teeth, just so they're not clenching. So we want a little bit of ease to the posture. And you can close your eyes here. We'll take a moment just returning to the body, returning to the breath. You can start to notice the inhales and the exhales. Maybe you start to deepen and lengthen the breath, breathing in and out evenly through the nose. Unless, of course, you have a really stuffy nose. But in general, the practice is breathing in and out through the nose. And when you're ready, start adding a count to your meditation. So for each exhale, you can label 1 and see how far you can get all the way up to 21. But whenever you notice that you've lost focus or you're just starting to think about something else, you just start from 1 again. But again, non-judgmentally, this is our mind training. Like we're building our mind muscle just like we would go to the gym and build our biceps. So when you're ready, you can begin your count. Remember, if you find yourself caught up in a thought, you just bring the focus back to the breath and begin again. We can always begin again in almost every situation I can think of. Remember, you don't have much control over the thoughts that come into your consciousness, but you do have control over whether you choose to engage with them or not. And just continue to count our exhales. So for each exhale, I'm just labeling 1, all the way up to 21. And whenever you notice you've lost count or are thinking about what you need to do after this practice, you just gently bring the count back to 1. For the last minute or so, wherever you are in your meditation, you can just start again. So starting fresh, no judgment, and just like you were just starting. And just bring the focus to the breath. Maybe you can even release your count now, just focusing on the breath, like it was a brand new meditation. When you're ready, you can start to release your mudra. Give your legs and your arms a little bit of a rub. And slowly begin to open your eyes. And you can take a look around your room, start to reorient yourself, and just start to come back. So we're going a little longer in our meditations. That was probably our longest. We did 10 full minutes. And one thing about meditation is that it's the consistency is more important than the length. So it'd be better to practice for 5 to 10 minutes every day than for 30 minutes once a week. And so meditation really gives us the opportunity where we can start to sit back and observe our thoughts, but we don't have to engage with each and every one. And I really do think that that's a learned skill. So I think sometimes we think we are thoughts, like I am so angry, or I am so nervous, or I'm so frustrated. And we can have those feelings, we can have those emotions, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we are those things. So it gives us a little distance between the different emotions that we might be feeling. It creates that space between things that are happening, which trigger us, and how we actually react. So I like to give this example. So maybe you're at work, or at home, you receive a provoking or triggering email, like maybe somebody saying like, oh, you didn't really do this correctly or this project, and you're already like hitting reply all, telling that person why they're wrong and what's going on, and then you click send. But then upon further thought, you're like, oh, that person actually had a point, I did forget this. Or maybe you clicked reply all instead of just replying to the sender. So sometimes when we're triggered, we have these quick gut reactions where we're not the one in charge, but it's actually our emotions in charge. So when we have that consistent meditation practice, that just gives us the little space, like, oh, maybe I don't need to respond right now. And another little trick too, whenever we feel this urgency to respond, that's generally not our higher self talking. That's more of like our ego or I need to be right. And that's probably an indicator of I need to take a step back, I need to take a walk. So the meditation practice creates that space between our triggers and reactions. I also wanted to give a little tip too. So, and this is also, it's a practice. So when we are triggered, whether it's with a partner or a coworker or somebody that tends to, get on our nerves a little bit, instead of reacting, I was taught, place your hand on your heart and you can say, thank you, teacher. Because these people are giving us the opportunity to practice, the opportunity to step back, even the opportunity to get curious about ourselves, about why we're having such a strong emotion. So I know this is easier said than done, trust me, but if you can kind of remember when you are getting triggered, hand to the heart, thank you, teacher. You can get curious about why it's bringing it up, and it's also just providing you an opportunity to practice. So I shared this quote, I think probably on our first day, but I'll share it again. So Viktor Frankl has famously said, between stimulus and response, there is space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. So I believe in that space is our higher self. So when we can take the time to kind of think and thoughtfully respond before we react, that's when we're connecting with that inner parent or that inner higher self with the divine. So when we talk about these practices, we talk about prayer as having a conversation with the divine. So prayer is our opportunity to request guidance. And meditation is our opportunity to listen, to hear what's coming back. So we need both. We need to be able to verbalize, articulate what it is that we need guidance in our life, to be able to call in more of that divine, loving force. But we also need to create that space and stillness where we can actually hear what's coming back. So that's why I love this practice in particular, where we are taking the time for meditation and prayer and gratitude, because we need all of them. So that's a little more about why we should take the time both to meditate and prayer. But we will now transition into our gratitude journal. We'll spend 5 minutes here. Again, just taking some time to consider 3 things that you're grateful for, and not just what you're grateful for, but also why you're grateful for them. We'll take 1 more minute here. Okay, we can move on to our prayer. So today I'm going to read a prayer, A New Day by Marianne Williamson. And again, she uses the word God here. You can replace it with anything that resonates with you. Dear God, thank you for this new day, its beauty and its light. Thank you for my chance to begin again. Free me from the limitations of yesterday. Today, may I be reborn. May I become more fully a reflection of your radiance. Give me strength and compassion and courage and wisdom. Show me the light in myself and others. May I recognize the good that is available everywhere. May I be this day an instrument of love and healing. Lead me into gentle pastures. And give me deep peace that I might serve you most deeply. So that was our practice today. So I want to thank you guys for practicing again, coming in. I love seeing all this consistency. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions or comments.